Hey, what's up everybody? This is Osric501 and today I want to take a look at some more information and screenshots in-game that we have for Atlas. Now these screenshots are not in-game on a server playing, they're like the main menus and stuff like that. The streamers do have the game already downloaded, but we do have this message here because the game has been delayed to the 22nd, but we do have this message here explaining a little bit more. Pathfinders, we expect early streaming of Atlas to start this evening at approximately 9 p.m. PST time. Now 9 p.m. PST is 12 a.m. or midnight for Eastern time, so you can just Google whatever time zone you're in to see the differences. And that's when the servers for streamers should go up. So streamers already have it downloaded, and if you don't know, the servers and build that the streamers and people get early access are going to be playing on is not going to be saved to the actual game launch. So none of the stuff they're doing before everyone else is able to play is actually saved. It's going to be a separate build basically, and none of it's going to carry over. It's just basically for stress testing and marketing a little bit. Following that, the game will be ready for full early access launch tomorrow by noon PST. We'll keep you updated if there are any changes. Now, that means that by noon PST, so that's 3 a.m. Eastern time, you can again check up whatever time that is in your time zone. Now, this seems to be, since streamers already have the game downloaded, they're pretty much definitely going to be getting access tonight. It seems that this is a much more likely release time than the other times we've had, because after the first delay, all the other release times are kind of just up for debate if it's actually going to happen. Now I think this is a bit more, it seems a bit more realistic that this one's actually going to go through, because streamers are going to be playing it tonight. The time between delays is getting less, so it's much less compared to before, which was supposed to be at any point today, which is only 7 p.m. Eastern time. So it's only, what, 4 p.m. where their studios are. So they did give us a bit more time before telling us delay, and it's much sooner of a delayed time. So it seems that they are kind of dialing stuff in, and in my opinion, it's more likely that we're going to get this, but it's still kind of up in the air if it's actually going to be launched at that point. I would say it's more likely right now, though. Now what we're also going to look at are the images of the in-game stuff. Now we have all the main options, we have the advanced options, we have both the 1 and 2 pages of keybinds. Don't want that zoomed in. And then we have a controller, basically controller keybinds, and then we have the basically server page. Now all of this is pretty much just the same thing that Arc has. All the menus are pretty much the same Arc has, which makes sense. If you guys don't remember, at the launch of Arc in Early Access, the menus looked nothing like this. They actually went through a few iterations, and the first ones that they came out with were pretty terrible. So it makes sense that they would use these, since they are pretty decent menus, even if they don't exactly fit Atlas. I could definitely see them remaking them at some point, but this is one of the last things they'd be remaking before full release launch, which is slated for 2 years from now. So it makes sense. Most of the settings are going to be the same, since they're building off the same engine and probably the same base architecture as Arc. Now it seems there are a few settings. Now I haven't played Arc in probably a month, but I don't remember specifically some of these settings down here being here. Now they do have everything else. They have view distance, anti-aliasing. They have pretty much all the other settings. Arc has pretty decent settings for PC gaming. They have a ton of different settings. They have all the different shadowing settings. They have a ton of different stuff, so they give you a good amount of settings overall, different sliders, stuff like that. So it makes sense they would use it. But these few settings here I don't remember being in Arc, and that is specifically invert Y I think was there, third person camera offset I don't remember if that was there, disable third person camera, interlobation. Those three might have been there because they sound like they kind of would have been there, but these ones I don't at all remember these being here, and I think these are new. Let me know if they're new. I don't have Arc downloaded, and I'm not going to re-download like that massive game right now, but I don't recall these being in Arc. Automatic melee combat lock which definitely is kind of telling. So automatic melee combat lock could be a few things. It could just be locking onto a character, so when you're moving around, your character is basically swiveling around them. Some games have used this before, to where you're locked on them, so your character is going to swivel around them instead of being, you know, your overall being able to move you know, freely in any direction. You'll swivel around them, so basically your character will still be moving, but your camera is going to be more locked on this person or this thing that you're trying to lock on, which could definitely work for having a much more upgraded melee system with parries, with power attacks, tons of different stuff. It could definitely be a possible you know, way to make that an overall better system. We don't know exactly how it's going to feel, because that's a big part, is exactly how it's going to feel. Melee combat lock target auto switch. So what I think this is, it could be two things. It could be tab targeting switching, kind of, so it puts it on a keybind, which we can actually check the keybinds after. Maybe it's not even in if it was that way. But auto switch, so it could be a few different things. It could be like tab targeting, so you like tab or use some other keybind, whatever you set it to, and it locks onto a different target. Or it could be when you look to a separate area, you can kind of hard like unlook your character away, so it would be kind of locked. But then if someone comes in front of you, in front of that target, it locks onto them instead. So it's, you know, whatever would be the most logical lock to have on, instead of, you know, something being in front of you and you're still locked on a thing behind it and you can't see the thing behind it anymore. So it could be a possible a few different things, so we don't know until we get in game. Then ocean spray particles. I don't think this was an arc. This makes much more sense for being an Atlas. Ocean spray particles, so that's basically like, say you're going through the sea, or the sea's knocking up against like land or rocks or something. There would be much more particle spray, so that's basically small little particles of water spraying everywhere. It would give it most likely a much more realistic water look, with the water, you know, spraying out and stuff like that. Most likely that would definitely lower your frames a decent bit, but there still is that. I also don't know what RB sync setting is. Red blue sync, maybe? I actually have no idea what that is and don't know exactly if that was an arc as well. They do still have the UI scaling stuff. Now, a bad thing that could be with this, I don't think these menus being the same as arc is a bad thing whatsoever. They're decent menus, and that's one of the last things I would remake. So taking time to just remake the menu would, in my opinion, for an early access game, be kind of bad, you know, resourcing and putting time in something that really doesn't matter as much, especially when you have a pretty good menu set up already that you can use. But something that can be bad with this is if the in-game UI is exactly the same as Arc. Now, the in-game UI for Arc isn't that bad, really, in my opinion, but it does not at all fit Atlas. It's like a techie type of menu because that fits Arc with all the tech stuff in it. So now we go to this. This is actually zoomed in too much. So this is advanced settings. It seems to be probably pretty similar to Arc. You know, we have inventory access sounds. We have no tooltip delays. We just have tons of stuff. Disable menu music. Survivor items, which is the same as an Arc. So maybe we'll be getting, you know, skins or stuff like Arc had. This seems to be like most likely. Now there is some stuff here, but most likely they won't be removing any stuff from Arc that was in these menus. They just be adding new stuff. So these would be a fully in progress, you know, menu. But show tutorial hint text. I don't know if that was an Arc. Uncapped frame rate experimental. Is there not an uncapped frame rate in this? I don't think there is. So this is basically uncapped frame rate. It's unclamped frame rate, but I'm pretty sure it's uncapped, I would assume. Auto third person combat mode. Now that is, I don't know if that was an Arc as well, but that is basically when you get in combat, it automatically put you into third person, which would let you. So basically what this could be used for, a lot of people most likely that are in PvP are going to have this on, because if you're playing in third person, doing something specific, if you get attacked, most people would go in third person right away to be able to see what's attacking them much easier. With this being auto doing that, it could definitely help with making it faster. So if you get attacked by something, you automatically go in a third person, you have a much wider view, you're able to see what's actually attacking you. Hide crew floating names. That's just name floating. Show health bars. Don't exactly, that's not very specific. Show health bars. I don't think that was an ARC, because I don't think ARC had floating health bars. So this would most likely be a floating health bar. ARC had it for bosses, but I don't think they had it for anything else, if I'm not mistaken. Show sextant minimap. That I'm pretty sure was not an ARC. Then show floating damage text. They did have that in ARC. I'm not certain if they took that away, because I thought they did take that away at some point. I haven't played ARC for like a couple months, so you guys can let me know if any of this stuff was actually an ARC. Now we do have the first keybinds. None of it really looks that new. They have all the same stuff ARC had, all the keybind slots, your inventory, your craftables, all that type of stuff, weapon attachments. They do have gamma values in here. I don't know if they added that into ARC, but they do have gamma values into here set as keybinds. So that's basically, usually most people were used to doing this in their console. They'd open console, do gamma space like 3 or gamma 4 to up their brightness a ton, or their gamma, so they could see much easier. So when permitted, so we're not exactly certain if game's going to be permitted in official servers. Pretty much everything else is the same. They have all the same whistles, all the same type of stuff. It doesn't seem anything else in this first page at least is different. They do still have show feats. You see, I think this stuff is actually different. So they have show feats, which seem to be your skill tree and your new feat tree. They have zoom in, zoom out map, but then they have use feats 1 through 10, which makes me think there's going to be more abilities, because here they have item slots, which is what you had in ARC. You didn't have abilities, you had items. So it seems there's going to be item slots for your different weapons and feat slots, which are most likely your abilities. Then you have fire secondary, which is fire your second weapon. There is dual wielding. Fire tertiary, I don't know what that is. And then fire quantitary, I don't actually know what that is either. What I'm thinking this might be is if you're on a tame mount, or if you're on, say, cannon and you have different ammo, maybe you're able to have different ammos on you and like have the different loads there, so you just press one and then it loads in grape shot, press this, it loads in, you know, liquid flame or something like that. Then we have upgrade item, switch to next loaded weapon. Okay, so upgrade item is actually just its keybind itself. I'm wondering if that will just be like building stuff, or if that's also going to be weapons that somehow you can just upgrade your weapons if you have the materials in your inventory. Don't actually know about that. Then we have captain orders, which captain the ship, so that would be ordering your NPCs around, I'm pretty sure. Then extra actions, ship throttle full stop, ship throttle full speed. None of these were definitely in ARC. I'm pretty sure this whole page was not in ARC. Captain extra action. Toggle all gun ports, which is pretty cool. So I'm pretty sure what that is you can even see it in the trailer, which all the gun ports is when they open the flaps on the side and all the guns stick out. So I'm pretty sure that's what that is. Reload all. I would assume this is all for NPC stuff. So if you're pressing reload all and you have a human player on one of the cannons, it's probably not going to reload that, is what I'd assume. Hide map text. Add throttle forward, add throttle backwards, add steering left, add steering right. So that's basically all the steering stuff for ships. You have full stops, full speeds, tons of different new stuff. And this is pretty telling. So it does show we are going to have a 1 through 10 menu of abilities. So feats, but basically it's telling us we are going to have 10 possible ability keybinds. I'm wondering if later they're going to add more. And then some stuff we don't exactly know what they are. Show all group icons, tons of different stuff that's specific for Atlas in here. Then we just have the controller menu. We already know it's going to be on Xbox at some point, and it's most likely just stuff from ARC in here right now. And I guess if people wanted to play this on a controller on PC right now, I don't know why you'd want to do that. Then we have the Atlas They're basically just the server menus. It's the same as Arc, just with different fonts basically for right now. I mean, it works fine. None of these menus look bad. They all do their job pretty well in my opinion. Hopefully they do remake them later on in early access before launch to make it a little bit more piratey themed for Atlas. And that's pretty much it. There's no servers up, but that's pretty much all for this video. So subscribe if you want to see more Atlas content. Leave a like if you like the video. Comment down below what you think about, all these new keybinds for all these new feats and stuff like that. What you think about delays, what you think about Atlas as a whole, and thanks for watching.